UNA preseason, pre-session, summer 2020, week number 7. We're about to get this thing started. There's a time for, diva, every star. There's a time for every star. There's a time for every star. There's a time for every star. Check it. Everybody's got that something. Everybody's got that something. Hey, 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 hey. Halo, halo, halo. Diva, yeah. Yeah. Pre-session. Summer seminar. Pre-session. Week number 7. We are in week number 7 of our 10-week seminar. Halo. Y'all know this is chapter 2. We're ending up chapter 2. We've got one more chapter. Our chapters have 3 weeks in them. Our chapters have 3 weeks in them. And for you all who want to be a part of our seminar, what are we talking about this season? Summer 2020, we're talking about putting yourself in trust, putting your business in trust, putting your house in trust, your children and everything else in trust, and reaching for your paradise. All right? We're striving for our paradise. We're not doing all this fighting because we know we don't have to fight. And I'm going to show y'all how to do that. So that's what we're talking about. Putting yourself and your business in trust. So this is the business law seminar. This is the pre-session to our university, the UNA University. So y'all want to be a part of that. If you want to be a part of that, go ahead and make your donation at divalarie.com. That's DIV-A-LYRI.com. DIVALYRI.com. Make your donation there. For each of our chapters is a $300 minimum. $300 minimum donation. All right, so go ahead and do that at divalarie.com. We're getting you now, by the way, so you'll understand what our seminars are about. All right, the point of them is for us to have a community such that we can share this information, all right? And you can have other people who you're growing with. Also, so that I can be there to answer questions. We're going to walk through together, putting these documents together, making sure you're understanding what's going on and why. We're going to do it. We don't just talk about it. We're about doing it. We're going to be about it. That's why we want you, our people who are in business, to come on in. If you have a business and you want to make it where the government is not telling you how you need to conduct business, then we want you to come on in, because you're going to find out that there really is no government. That's another story. You'll find out when you get into the session. But if you want to be a part of that, divalarie.com. The university starts every Sunday. It's every Sunday from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. All right. This is our pre-session because I want to give you all some information, some esoteric information, a little bit of other laws so that you can understand what's going on and why it's important for you to be a part of this seminar. And if not this one, be a part of somebody so that you can understand how to get yourself situated in this game that's being played right now. All right. Now, okay, so that's the summer season. We're in chapter 2. This is week 3 today. This is week 3 of chapter 2. So we want you all to go ahead and, get into that seminar, divalarie.com, a minimum of $300 donation for chapter 2. Go ahead and be a part of that so we can get you into the seminar. All right. Now, let's talk about what we're doing today for the pre-session. The pre-session. All right. Now, y'all saw the topic, and we're talking about voting. All right. Now, there's a lot of talk. I mean, I normally would not even address voting because I don't vote. I don't, because I understand the game. But I'm going to just put some information out here for those of you all who feel the need to vote, and just so you can recognize what's going on in this game. But we're going to talk about voting. We're going to talk about contracts. We're going to talk about removing yourself from the system. All right. We're going to talk about lawful versus legal and the mental realm. Y'all know I'm big on that. Getting on the mental realm and making sure that our mind is right. Because if your mind is right, it doesn't matter what you do out here in this dimension. Doesn't matter what you do. You're going to receive all kind of chaos because your mind is in chaos. You got to be very careful at this time because a lot of people are feeding our imagination. And I went over what imagination is, and I'm going to say it again. Image. Imagination, when you break it down, we look at the etymology of it. It's an image, all right, in the nation, all right? So what we're talking about is the images that you're feeding your nation within, all right? The images that you're feeding your nation within, because your nation is what manifests everything for you. Your nation. That means these spirits within you that a lot of people don't understand. I won't go into that here because I went into that a couple of sessions ago. But you've got to be careful about the images that you're feeding to your nation, because whatever image you feed to your nation, that is what you're going to manifest. That is what your nation has to manifest for you. All right, so y'all got to understand this game. Had to get some scissors. All right, so now voting, contracts, removing yourself from the system, lawful versus legal, and the mental realm. Now, let me get on this voting. Something that you all need to understand. If you don't know the difference between the United States Corporation versus the United States of America, then you're not really qualified to vote. If you don't know the difference between a democracy and a republic form of government, or a democratic form of government versus a republic form of government, you're not qualified to vote. And I'm not talking about Democrat and Republican parties. No, I'm talking about what those terms mean. And we're not really getting what's going on with the history. If you don't understand the history of the United States and how it got started, and you're still thinking, for example, that Albion wrote the Constitution, and you're not qualified to vote because you don't understand this game. One of the things I need to point out to you all is, since I brought it up, the United States Corporation was a corporation that was owned by Britain. Britain has come into the territory and taken over the territory that we know as North America with this corporation called the United States Corporation. And they have used that corporation to usurp authority around this planet and put people into enslavement. Now, because we're ignorant, some of us are fighting for a corporation that was never for us in the first place. The United States Corporation was never for us in the first place. So when you understand that, and then you start talking about voting for a president for the United States, what you're not understanding is you're involved in voting for someone to be president of a corporation that took over or usurped or stole the authority from the original government in this land. The original United States of America government, which, by the way, was a government that stole the authority from the original people of the land. But I won't get into that because then we're talking about history. So once again, do you understand what you're voting for? So when you say, oh, I'm voting for the president of the United States, well, guess what? The United States has nothing to do with America. Oh, what? I just lost somebody. I just lost a lot of people with that. Hold on, I'm going to let that sink in. I'll say it again. The United States Corporation, all capital letters, U.S. United States, has nothing to do with America. That's why it's situated in Washington, D.C. Do y'all understand? See, some of y'all don't get this. Take notes. I'm giving you some stuff to take notes on right now. So if you think this is good stuff, wait till you get into the university. Take notes. Washington, D.C. is not even a part of the United States of America. What? It's not a part of the United States of America. See, those of us who've read the Constitution, and if you don't know the difference between the Constitution for the United States of America and the Constitution of the United States of America, then you're not qualified to vote. But see, if you knew all of these things that I'm saying, then you would know, you'd be qualified to vote, but you would know that voting doesn't do you any good. Why? Let me carry on. So, Washington, D.C., in the Constitution for the United States of America, was set aside as a territory that is a 10-mile by 10-mile square, 10-mile by 10-mile square block of land that was set aside for the specific purpose of allowing the states that had issues with each other to come into a neutral territory and handle their disputes. So it's never part of the United States of America, which is, once again, that's another corporation. It's a government, but it was the original government here in what we know as North America. So then you've got this United States corporation invented by Britain that was created to fraudulently usurp the authority from the United States of America government. So the United States corporation has nothing to do with America. When you're voting for it, you're voting for a company, a corporation, the president of a corporation that is meant to steal all of your rights. This, when some of y'all are not paying attention, when I go back to democratic form of government versus a republic form of government. So when you're taking this pledge that we used to have to say in school, and to the republic for which it stands, and to the republic for which it stands. Republic was the original form of government, which was the United States of America. That was the original government. It was a republic form of government. What does republic form of government do? It protects your God-given rights at all costs. That means can't nobody be telling you that you can't have a weapon. Nobody can tell you that you can't leave your house. Nobody can tell you that you can't travel this planet of your own free will. That is the republic. That is where you are. You have God-given rights. This is land that was given to us by God, and somebody's telling you you can't leave your house at a certain time. Somebody's telling you that you can't have a weapon. You can't protect yourself. Somebody's trying to force, so they say, a vaccination on you. A republic form of government protects your God-given rights at all costs. That is the difference between a republic form of government and a democratic form of government. So, originally the pledge said, unto the republic for which it stands. Well, when the hell did the United States become democratic? Well, in 1851, 1871 with the Act of 1871. See, I'm giving y'all information. All you people running out and talking about you want to vote, just go look this up. If you want to vote, fine. Educate yourself, though. The Act of 1871 is when it became democratic, because what you started doing is pledging to a corporation that was created to usurp the authority from the original government and steal your God-given rights. A democratic form of government, which was created to usurp the authority from the republic form of government to steal your God-given rights. So if you're voting for a United States corporation and a United States president, then you are voting for someone who is a part of a corporation that's created to steal your God-given rights and keep you enslaved. You still want to vote? All right, let me carry on. Because one of the other things that you're not understanding is that when we're talking about a democratic form of government, we're talking about a mob-ruled form of government. A mob-ruled form of government. This means the fewer in numbers have no true voice. So if there are fewer of you, a quote-unquote minority, which minority has nothing to do with what they tell you. You're a minority. They call it, I don't even go into that. I'll go into that later. The fewer in number have no voice in a democratic form of government. Understand this. Take notes. Take notes so that when you want to get into the university, you understand what's really going on. A democratic form of government always, and I mean always ends in chaos. A democratic form of government is always going to end in chaos. So for those of you all who are voting, you need to understand what you're voting for. You're voting for a corporation known as the United States, which has usurped authority from the true United States of America. This United States is owned by Britain, and it has nothing to do with the United States of America. It is a corporation that is a democracy, a democratic form of government created to steal your God-given rights and to tell you, you've got to vaccinate your child. You've got to vaccinate yourself. You've got to run your corporation like this. You've got to stay in your house. Huh? Wait a minute. That ain't what God said. But y'all choose to continue to follow up behind this corporation and to give it all of your energies, all of your precious energies, and to put these images that these people are giving you in your mind to feed your precious nation. Your nation, which produces and manufactures everything in this third dimension for you. You have chosen to give a fictitious false government your precious energies, your precious time in your mind to occupy you and to keep you tied and trapped in this fake third dimension. You chose to do that. So as I say to you, y'all got to understand what it is that you're voting for. If you're going to vote, the least you can do is educate yourself about what this system is. Who are you voting for? And it doesn't matter which one you vote for, Democrat or Republic. And note, Republican is not the same as a republic form of government. It's not the same. Y'all notice you only have two parties? Y'all done stop. At what point do y'all stop to think, wait, why we only have two parties? And then you're not understanding even what Republican or republic form of government is. You're not even understanding where these two different parties came from. Let me go into this because one of the things you are not understanding, we're concerned about this one world government, one world form of government. Let me help y'all understand it. There already was a one world government. It's called the federal government. It already was that. It's called the federal government. The federal government was working in your favor. The federal government was working for the republic. Understand this. You are the federal government. The federal government, when you go and look at all of these federal codes, now there's a difference between the codes, statutes, and ordinances of these different states and the codes of the federal government. So when we're talking about UCC codes, when we're talking about federal codes, when we're talking about U.S.C. codes, we're talking about those codes, those federal codes, they are all in your favor. Those federal codes tell you that no, nobody can force you to not have a gun. You have a right to have a weapon. Those federal codes are going to tell you nobody can force inject you. Those federal codes are going to tell you all kind of things that work in your favor. Those federal codes are going to tell you ain't no such thing as no bill. Those federal codes will tell you there's no such thing as a foreclosure. But because we're ignorant of the federal codes, because we're ignorant of democracy versus republic form of government, because we're ignorant of the difference between the United States versus the United States of America, we are allowing people to feed images to us that we go and give to our nation that produces this fictitious image that we have out here in this third dimension. Y'all not seeing how all this stuff ties in to the higher laws, which I talk about, the universal laws all the time? Y'all not seeing how it ties in? If you're not understanding it, the problem is that our ignorance allows us to be played. Our ignorance allows us to be played. So I'm getting back into this. I'm going to go into this because there's this thing about Trump. I'm not telling you to vote for Trump or not vote for Trump. I don't vote like that. I vote differently. I vote right here. Because you know what I understand? That I got spirits within me that are taking votes. All my spirits within me, them the suckers I need to be worried about. Suckers, I didn't mean to call y'all sucker spirits. I love you. But the spirits within me, those are the ones I need to be worried about. Because when they vote, all of this out here has got to be what I say it is. When my spirits within me vote, that's the most important vote for me. And I make them vote with the images that I put in my mind, my imagination, the images that I feed to my nation within. Y'all gonna get it. Let me go back to this Trump thing. Let me go back to the Trump thing so y'all can understand. There was a lot of talk about how Trump turned the United States corporation over to FEMA. Once again, I say to you, there already was a one world government, and that was the federal government. The federal government. When you understand what the United States is, it was nothing more than a corporation. It was nothing more than a corporation. So when we're talking about the federal government, pay attention and take notes. Pay attention and take notes. When we're talking about the federal government, we're talking about FEMA. We're talking about the UPU, United Postal Union, which is over United Postal Service. When we're talking about the federal government, we're talking about the post office, which is the one who contracted the USPS, the United States Postal Service. That's a private corporation, no doubt owned by Britain. But the United States, the United Post Office, the United States Post Office is a federal government. That's a federal organization. And the United States Postal Service is a private corporation that's stepping all over the United States Post Office. So we're talking about FEMA. We're talking about even we're talking about the State Department. We're talking about UPU. We're talking about the United States Post Office. Not the Postal Service, but the Post Office. All of these are federal agencies. We're talking about these federal codes. So when we're talking about the United States Corporation, we're talking about a corporation owned by Britain. When we're talking about the United States Corporation, we're talking about who y'all are talking about voting for president. You're talking about a rogue corporation, a rogue government that you're trying to vote for the president. And y'all have allowed them to take all of your energies and to place all of these images in your mind. When Trump turned the United States Corporation over to FEMA, as we're told by the media, what he did was allow the federal government to come in and handle a rogue corporation, finally, that should never have been in power and authority in the first place. That's what y'all are not getting. The United States Corporation is a rogue corporation and it's still running the media. Thank you. So it's still running the media. So what you have to do is understand what is going on. So if you're still talking about voting, I mean, I don't suggest you vote or not vote. I'm telling you to educate yourself on what the game is, because when you understand this game, you know that voting for a president for a rogue corporation will not help your situation. The votes that you need to be concerned with is the votes that your nation within you is taking. What kind of votes they taking? Because that's what's going to manifest out here. Not the votes that you think you're going to go and put a ballot. No. That vote won't do you know what that vote's going to do? That vote's going to make it worse for you, because they're going to know you're still playing their game. They're going to know that you're still caught up in the game. They're going to know that you're still allowing them to occupy space in your mind. And they ain't even paying you for it. You let them occupy space in your mind, and they're not even paying you for it. And so when they're in your mind, they're feeding you images. They're feeding you images. At what point do you stop and feed your own images to your nation instead of letting them feed you images? Okay, well, when you decide to do that, that's when your third dimension will change. But in the meantime, somebody else got a hold of your imagination and they driving you into hell. You want to take control of your imagination. You're going to take control of the images that you feed your nation within. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to keep talking about it. Y'all going to get sick of me. Oh, Diva, what the imagination? Damn right. I'm going to keep talking about it till you get it. Your imagination is what's driving this third dimension out here. Your imagination. Ain't a damn soul coming up into my place talking about sticking shit in me. I really? I don't have to pull a bullet, a gun or nothing. I don't have to protest or nothing. That's not going to happen. Because I got control of my imagination. My nation produces for me. Does your nation produce for you? Let's get on this. So you're understanding of what FEMA is. For those of you who don't know, FEMA stands for Federal Emergency something Act. Federal Emergency. The word I'm looking for is federal. Federal. That's the federal government that he turned it over to. Also, I meant to tell you all, some of y'all know about the Hague. Hague is federal. So when y'all were doing your authentication of your birth certificate and somebody told you to put it outside the Hague was there for your protection. The Hague is the one that came in and made the United States Corporation do certain things where they're supposed to be paying you. But because you're ignorant, you don't know they're supposed to be paying you. You don't know that you're supposed to walk into the grocery store and the grocery store buy your food. And they give you a receipt. You're supposed to sign it, put your social security number on it, and walk the hell out. That's how that was supposed to go. But because we fell ignorant, now we the ones who have to take the receipt, pay some Federal Reserve notes, and then we got to go to the Treasury to get our money back dollar for dollar. But we weren't supposed to be doing that originally. Originally, all these other corporations out here, because they're contracted to work for us, especially y'all copper-colored people, this is our land. They're contracted to be here. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all thinking, we all need to band together because we dark skinned or whatever it is. You better know who you are and who's working for you and who's not. Some of these same people y'all think are dark skinned and working with you, they working to keep you enslaved too. And some of these Albions out here that you're fighting against, them the main ones fighting for you. Black Lives Matter got more white people in it than it got black people in it. Y'all ain't getting this. Y'all got to understand the game. What I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you understand what the difference between the federal government and how they were working for you as opposed to democratic government, you're going to understand this game. You're going to start to better understand the game. And the most important thing, you got to get your mind right. You got to stop letting all these people feed your mind this stuff about wars. Oh, we're going to go come in and shoot you up. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because I got control of my nation. Now, I'm going to get back to this. In understanding that when you have contracted the proper trust with these corporations out here and put it on public record, that's when you're protecting yourself. That's when you're truly protecting yourself from a lawful standpoint. Or actually a legal standpoint, rather. You want to get yourself tightened up legally. So what I'm talking about is putting your trust down and putting it on public record so that it is understood who you are. Get yourself right legally. That's what all of these sessions that we're doing are about. All of your fighting, you can avoid a lot of it when you get yourself right legally. All right. So we're talking about the school system, and you're sending your child into the school system, and I'm just hearing here and there about how the children are being quarantined or what have you. All right, you're not getting this? Because they're gonna say, oh, this is legal that I can keep your child or whatever, because it's just legalities. Again, when you understand the laws and the fact that these people are just trying to take away your God-given rights, then this is why you want to be a part of the seminar, so you can get yourself right legally. So that if first of all, at what point, I told you, the United States corporation is a rogue corporation. They've taken over the media. They took over the government, quote unquote government. They got the United States Postal Service, which they own. And we don't know what the ham sandwich is going on with the USPS. So they've controlled all of these things. They've taken over all these things and controlled it. And that includes your schools. See, all of these so-called accredited schools, they're accredited so that they can control the information that's going into the mind of your children. They're controlling the information that's going into the mind of your children. They're controlling the imagination of your child. How do they do that? Remember, they own all of the book publishing companies, magazines, newspaper. So the accredited schools are the ones, they're accredited only because they use certain books. All of the books that they use come from these accredited schools. All of the books that they're using come from the book publishing companies that are owned by this corporation. They come from the book publishing companies that are owned by the corporation. You can look it up for yourself. So when your child goes to an accredited school, they're going to a school that is in the system and created to program the mind of your child, to beat the imagination out of them. So here we go. In understanding that, what you want to do, again, we're talking about putting everything under trust. Let's legally get it set up now. Again, you understand who owns these schools. You understand that the United States Corporation is not a friend of yours, because they came in here to steal authority from the beginning and take away your God-given rights. So you're still sending your child to school. Listen to me. And I know people going to say, well, you know, I got to work and I got to. What images are you feeding up here to your nation within? Because if you feed it to your nation that I be damned if I'm going to put my child back into a school run by the enemy, then that's what the hell your nation going to be producing for you. Your nation is going to produce a way such that that don't happen. Your nation will produce it for you. I say your nation, I'm just talking about the universe. This is the universe right here. So if you put it in your mind and you make the image of this is what I want for my child, I want for my child to be fed the right information, then that's what your nation is going to produce for you. That's what the universe is going to produce for you. But if you're putting it in your mind that, oh, I don't have a choice, and then that's what's going to be produced for you. All right. So we want to recognize that we do have a choice. First of all, you do have a choice. What did you make it up here? All right. But for those of y'all who are not to the point where you can get your imagination there, the least you can do is get your paperwork there, your legal documentation there. What am I talking about? Making sure your child is under trust. See, when you have a birth certificate on your child, what you have done is registered your child. Anytime you, I hope y'all taking notes because I'm giving y'all all this information. I told you there's remedy in everything I'm saying. You come into the sessions so that I can walk you through it and make sure, we can make sure your paperwork is right. All right. So I'm giving you this information. Take notes. If you're wanting to make sure you have legal control of your child, because when you've registered it, you've turned over ownership of your child. You've said, I don't own this anymore. Oh, you get to keep it. But anytime the corporation, and it ain't a government, it's just a corporation. Anytime the corporation comes in and it wants to take that child, it can, because you've given over ownership. Well, take ownership back by putting it under trust. And it's not really your child that you gave ownership of. You gave ownership of the corporation that they created and bonded to your child. All right? See, these are all the things that you learn. You ain't in slavery. Your child ain't in slavery. Your mind is in slavery. So when somebody tell you, oh, the birth certificate, they put us in slavery. No, they didn't put you in slavery. They put your mind in slavery. All right, when you get that, you understand how to make it legal where you own the corporation of your child. And you own yourself. You own your business under your own nation. Once you get that, then they can't control you. Then you're standing under a republic form of government. Your God-given rights are afforded to you because you took them back. Nobody give them to you. You've got to take them. And you don't have to use no kind of bullets, no weapons, no picket signs, no voting ballot, none of that. You put it in writing. And then you get your mind right. I think I have some questions before I get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in. Halo, Bray and Atum. Thank you, UNA. Hello, Kevin. Let me just see. I have some questions. The USPS has shut down. The USPS stopped using the high-speed machines. And see, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand that, gang, but we're going to get on top of it. I'm just trying to see if I had any questions. UNA, post that question for me that I had. Or just put it in the inbox so I can see it. Hello, Dante. He says the father Melchizedek is coming soon this year. Okay. Long as he respect the matriarchs, he's all right. Departments are branches of federal government agency and private corporations. Thank you, MJA. Hello, Leslie. Federal codes tell you there are no bills. You can have protection. That's right. So if I can have a gun without having a license, why do they lock us up? Marquise, what? Thank you, Marquise, for that question. Marquise says, if I can have a gun without a weapon, without a license rather, why do they lock us up? Who they lock up, Marquise? When you have a driver's license or any kind of state issued ID, what you've said is that you are owned by that state. You understand? Marquise, what you haven't done is you haven't put yourself under trust, because when they lock you up, only people who's locking you up is a private corporation. There's no government that locks you up. There are no governments. All of these police of this and police force of Atlanta and the police of all these, they are private corporations. The only thing they can lock up is someone who is under their jurisdiction. So, and now anything else, they're kidnapping you, Marquise. So if you are saying you are a citizen, or you're under their jurisdiction, they're taking your corporation, your all capital letter. And see, if you're not in the session and you don't understand this game, you don't understand trust, Marquise, then you're not recognizing what I'm saying. Now, true enough, they can kidnap you. They're going to hold you for 2-3 days. However, when you have your own trust, they can't hold you, because the only thing they're trying to hold on to is the corporation. If the corporation belongs to you, see, this is hard to, I don't know where you're, how far you are into understanding trust law, Marquise, but when you understand trust law, then you're just like these guys who do have weapons and they open carry them on the street and the police can't touch them. That's because they understand what the laws are. And some of these people don't even have themselves under trust, but because they understand the laws and how to stand on them, they carry their weapons in the open. And there's nothing the cops can do, because the cops, listen to me, Marquise, and take notes. The cops are nothing more than private citizens. If you all don't have the hierarchy of law, go and download it from unarepublic.com. unarepublic.com/law. unarepublic.com/law. They are nothing more than private citizens. They don't have the authority to come up and question you or detain you any more than the little old lady on the street. They don't have no authority. You're giving them authority, especially when you're carrying a driver's license or any kind of governmental issued ID by their states. You're saying you're a property. Well, quit saying you're property. Stand as the government that you are. Stand as the nation that you are. Let's see about this question. Let's see. All right, I guess I answered both of them. How to free yourself from the system. All right, so yeah, again, thank you, UNA. But yeah, that's what's going on. You're freeing yourself from the system, and you're taking back your God-given rights when you learn how to put yourself under trust. When you learn what legal is versus lawful. Legal deals with these rules, these documents, these paper documents. That's legal. Lawful is dealing with God and what God said you have the rights to do. Now, lawfully, they can't detain you when you have yourself under trust. So legally, when they come and they're holding you and they're saying you violated this code and this statute and this ordinance, all of that is legal. And you can reconcile with that when you understand how to put yourself under trust and stand under the law. Above and beyond that, Marquise, and I need you to get this, Marquise. Get this, Marquise, because this whole game is all spiritual. Everything is energies. That's what we're not recognizing, Marquise. So one of the things when we're talking about a gun, a knife, all of these things, they carry energies. They carry energies. So you got to wonder why again, I understand we've been made to fear, and you're carrying your gun. You better recognize that the gun carries an energy. All right. In understanding that, what energies are you also carrying within? So if you're getting locked up, and I hear you when you say, oh, they picking on us and they doing this stuff, but what the hell did you do really, Marquise? Because when I see that, I'm seeing an energy. An energy. There are no victims, Marquise. Nothing is happenstance, Marquise. Everything is an energy. And you can't tell me that somebody who's constantly getting locked up or constantly these things are happening to them, that, oh, it's just happenstance. They just good people. They didn't do nothing. BS. BS. That I can't tell you how hard it is for me not to say the real word. That's BS. Nothing is happenstance. And there are no victims. So if these things are coming at you, understand their energies and make sure you get your energies right. Because when your energies are right, all of this stuff out here is not going to be able to affect you. As we talk about images in your mind. So if you're carrying a gun, and I'm not telling you not to carry a gun. I'm telling you, if you're carrying one, then you're telling me what images are in your mind. And if you're feeding these warlike images, if you're putting them in your mind, then you're feeding them to your nation. And if you're feeding them to your nation, then your nation must manifest whatever you're feeding it. What are you feeding your nation? For those of you all who are interested in getting your nation set up and putting your house, your business, your children, yourself, your cars, and everything else, your nation under trust, y'all need to go to divalerie.com. DIVALYRI.com and make your donation. Use the diamond at the top. There's a diamond at the top. Use that to make your donation and to get into the business law seminar that we're about to go into. And we're going to send a Zoom link out to all of our people, as a matter of fact, who are supposed to be in the university very shortly. And we want you all to go ahead and start loading up into the UNA University. I want to thank all of you all for joining me today. What are you feeding your nation? Go to divalerie.com and make your donation. This is a $300 minimum donation for Chapter 2. We're in Chapter 2. We've got one more chapter to go, Chapter 3, which is a 3-week session. So we're ending Chapter 2 today. But you all go ahead and be a part of that session so that we can get you all in. And let me see if I have any more questions. Let me see if I have any more questions. And we're going to get all of our people loaded up into the UNA University. So once again, remember, my friends, it's all about what's in your mind. This third dimension is what you make it. It's what you make it. And if you can't get that, then you're going to allow someone to continue to feed images to your mind, and they're going to jack your nation up. They're going to help you jack your own nation up because you're doing it. You're doing it. They're going to help you jack your own nation up because the truth is you're doing it. No, they messing with us. No, no. And if you're still voting, then you need to get some information. Make sure you educated yourself. I'm sorry. Kevin said, I feed my nation pineapple, peanuts, and water. Thank you, Kevin. Let me see. I'm just trying to make sure I get this. UNA, I want you to go ahead and send out this Zoom link to everybody. And I want to thank all of you all for joining me. Listen, I know these are some, peculiar times, and they're stressful to some of us, especially if we're not, we're continuously watching the television. Turn it off. We're continuously having people in our inbox with these videos and, all of these stories coming up through your feed. Y'all got to get your mind together. Some of y'all need to clean your inbox out, clean your friends list out, because you are allowing people to guide your dimension. That you have allowed somebody to have you running off with all of your your imagination. I got a question. If you have a question about Nadia, anything, a cost or whatever, please send that to UNA America, and let's get you taken care of. The $300 is for 3 weeks, so that's going to cover all of chapter 2. There are 3 weeks. Today will be the third week. And so that's going to cover all of chapter 2. And once again, you get into the seminar and get your questions answered. You're going to get, information on how to set your trust up, how to get yourself situated, how to deal with these agents when they're coming at you. If somebody has your child, your car, all of this. Once it's under trust, you're going to learn how to protect yourself, and you get to ask questions. This is what the other thing about this seminar that's important to me is that I provide for you what I didn't have. I didn't have somebody who I could go to and ask these questions of. I didn't have the ability to, when I was doing my contracts, could I ask somebody? No, I didn't have that. I'm trying to give that to you. So that's part of what this seminar is about. All right. So you can go there, DivaLarie.com. When you made your donation, send confirmation to UNA America. And we're going to make sure you get into the Zoom room. And also make sure you get into, if you can't get into Zoom, you can still get onto it by Facebook. So you can join by Facebook or you can join by Zoom, whichever one you want is up to you. But you want to be a part of it because we're talking about protecting yourself. All right. When you understand the laws and legal versus lawful, then you're not, you don't want to be stressed out about, they're going to come into my, and by the way, I need y'all to know something. This is what I mean by imagination and why it's important to do some research. You'll hear a lot of this stuff being equated to things that happened in history. And when we do our research, what we find is that the things that they say happened in history didn't happen anything at all like what they said. They want to tell you, 6 million Jews was killed and it wasn't even 500,000 Jews in all of Europe. So not only is the numbers trumped up, then the way they died, that wasn't even true. I'm telling you, it's not just that. That's the Holocaust was the biggest thing we've heard about. It didn't even happen the way we're being told. And so I say to you, somebody is planting images in your mind and you're feeding them to your nation. What I'm trying to tell you is to get yourself right legally and get yourself right mentally. And then, they got, the recession and everybody was starving and dying. And what you want to do is understand what money really is. That's why you want to be a part of the sessions. What is money really? Y'all remember I told y'all, I wish I was, I told y'all about the little bald-headed boy in the Matrix. When he had that spoon and he said, what you got to realize is that the spoon doesn't really exist. You got to wrap your mind around what's really going on. And then when you learn to bend your mind, then the spoon bends. Y'all ain't getting it. The money doesn't really exist. When you get control of your imagination, then you can wrap your mind around everything it is that you want. You can make the money do what you need it to do. All right. History is a lie agreed upon by Napoleon Bonaparte. Bonaparte. All right. I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to get out of here. All right. So listen. I want all of you all who are in the university, go ahead, pile on up in the university. Now we got plenty of space. Anybody else who wants to join us, let us know. Go ahead into the university. Get ready. So we're on the UNA University, and also you can catch us on the Zoom, in the Zoom room. All right. And if y'all have any questions, y'all send your confirmations to UNA. And once again, that $300 minimum donation is that is for chapter 2, and that's going to give you all of the sessions for chapter 2. All right. And again, that's covering trust. Thank you, Tina. Tina says she's waiting on me, Diva. What's up, Tina? It's not 3 o'clock yet, Tina. Give me a few minutes. All right, so we're going to get this thing started. All right, so we're going to go into the university. We're going to give everybody the opportunity. Evidently, I got a lot of people piling up in there. Y'all go ahead, pile up in there, because UNA is like, okay. All right. So, okay, UNA, we're going to give you time. But yeah, y'all go ahead and go into the university, because we're going to get it started, and make sure you understand how to put yourself under trust, how to, keep yourself safe. All right. And also we're going to hit them universal laws, the higher laws, because y'all got to know those. That's the most important, getting your mind right. All right. Go to unarepublic.com/law and download those documents, the university, the hierarchy of law, the universal laws, and also the Iroquois Confederacy. Y'all go over there and get those, okay? All right, so I'm going to see y'all in the university. I want y'all to know I love you all. All right, I love you. Keep your mind right. Stop letting people plant images in your mind. You're letting them occupy space in your mind for free. Y'all educate yourself. Educate yourself and stop allowing people to plant images. You want to start planting your own images. What does your paradise look like? What does it look like? Put it up here. Get back to your imagination. Get back to it. Plant the images up here. What does your paradise look like? And whatever image you put in your mind is what you're going to feed your nation, and your nation by law must produce it for you. I love y'all. I love y'all. Let's move on a higher vibratory frequency. Let's grow together. All right. See y'all in the university. Peace. I'm out. Bye-bye. Diva.